Hey, welcome to the Micheaux Mission, 2 Men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. My name is Len, aka the Bat Tribble. And as always, I am joined by my partner.
Hey, this is Vincent Williams.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are kicking off in grand fashion with Vincent's selection from the year 2000, as we are going to be reviewing Marlon Wayans, Sean Wayans, in a movie that they wrote and directed by Keenan Ivory Wayans.
Wow, this sounds really black.
It does. And yet they found room for Shannon Elizabeth and Anna Faris in Scary Movie.
How you not going to say Regina Hall?
I'll tell you why when we get to our review of the film.
Ooh, foreshadowing.
Vincent's selection for our kickoff to BOOTOBER. But first, as always, shout out to each and every one of you out there who are watching us as we stream via StreamYard to Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and of course, YouTube and LinkedIn.
Yes.
And all of you in the chat, hello to each and every one of you.
Good evening, one and all.
I see that Farrell Blackwell is saying, "What's up, missionaries? It's Dervell Martin Day." Were you aware that it is Dervell Martin Day?
No. What makes it? Is it his birthday?
That's a good question.
Is it? Is he just saying it because we
I
do
feel
it?
like we
I was
need
about to
look
say
that up.
Farrell Black. We need more details.
I mean, you just can't.
You're about to say you can't just drop that.
It's not his birthday.
Yeah.
It's not the day. It doesn't commemorate his
It's
passing.
It's just we celebrate him every episode.
Every day is Dervell
So
Martin Day.
it seems like every day is Dervell Martin Day as long as Dervell Martin lives in your heart.
There you go. There you go.
He's like Frosty the Snowman.
Is he? Now I'm seeing Frosty the Snowman.
Remember,
with
he's
his
like,
big-
I'll be back again next year.
Oh, Frosty the Snowman. Did you cry the first time you saw Frosty the Snowman?
Here's the thing. I actually hate Frosty the Snowman.
Like the special or
the actual
man?
the actual character. I hated him. I always felt like the magician had a good point.
Are you serious?
It was his hat.
Okay, but whoa.
And Frosty was dumb.
I'm not sure I understand.
your
Right.
Your phone
My watch has betrayed me as well.
your watch doesn't understand. How can you hate Frosty?
Every
the
time the
Snowman?
hat came back on his head and he said, Happy New Year. I said, oh, I hate you so much.
Did he say Happy New Year or Happy Birthday?
Happy birthday?
I think he said Happy Birthday.
I
'cause
don't
he
know.
was-
I always
he was
hated him.
born.
I didn't like him.
But wait a minute.
And
So-
it was a magician's hat.
okay, but
Like it was actually his hat.
yes, but first of all, he wasn't doing anything with that. Second of all,
Sure, it was. He was pulling the rabbit out. That was his whole deal.
and then it blew off. Didn't it like blow off his head? Or
Right.
Did he
And
throw
then
it away.
No, did he throw it away?
I think he threw it away.
I don't remember him throwing it away. He may have thrown it
I think he
away.
threw it away. So
And-
then,
and-
like,
and then
possessions is 9/10 of the law.
And then it just landed on.
Because then the wind blew.
And then the kids put it on the snowman, and then
Yeah, and it brought the kids to life. There you go. So it was Frosty's hat,
yeah,
or at least the little girl.
I
I
like
forget her
Frosty.
name.
And then Frosty melted at the end. I was like, this is really dark.
Okay, but then,
Like I'm a kid.
well,
Did
yeah,
they think this through?
that all? See, that's what made me cry.
And then I'll be back next year. And I was like, oh man.
I never look at
Like,
a hothouse the
like,
same.
I felt like I had closure when he melted. I was like, okay, well that happened.
Well, first of all, he didn't melt at the very end. Remember, Santa Claus comes.
Right.
brings him
And
back
then
to life with
takes him,
Christmas snow.
and then takes him away. You can tell as someone who we just spent this afternoon going in excruciating detail about my favorite episode of Sanford and Son.
Oh, yes, you did.
I've not, you know, I've not seen Frosty the Snowman that much because it really is just not my favorite.
Robert Monroe Jr. agrees with you, Vincent, and says Frosty was obnoxious.
I didn't like him.
Frosty was not obnoxious.
I didn't like him.
He barely had any personality.
I don't like Frosty.
Oh, come on.
I never liked Frosty.
I don't understand. Frosty is...
I never liked Frosty.
Did you like it?
I love all of them. And then we do need to move on because now you know the other thing about Frosty?
What?
You remember when we were like little kids, that was the heyday of the Christmas specials. And like they would show off. But as we got older and that evening real estate got more and more precious, they cut back on a lot of the specials that they would show.
Okay.
Like I think A Year Without a Santa Claus has made sort of a Gen X return because we all love the Heat Miser, Cold Miser song.
Do we love the Heat Miser, Cold Miser, or do we really love the Heat Miser?
I mean, I love both songs. I mean, Heat Miser was obviously, pardon the pun, the hotter one.
Yeah.
But there was a period where they weren't playing it every year.
Okay.
Or like Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which was, Santa's origin story.
Yes.
Which I always like those kind of deeper cut ones.
Yeah.
They weren't playing them as much, but they always would play Frosty the Snowman. So I remember being like 10, 11 thinking they could be playing A Year Without a Santa Claus right now while dumbass Frosty the Snowman is on.
Well, okay. See, but what actually happened was that back when we were kids, they used to almost like block out the night.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So the reason why you remember them so ubiquitously is like year after year, there would be one night where they would all play.
Right.
And then as we got older and admittedly, like you said, the real estate got a little bit more precious, but they then also started spacing them out more.
Right, but there were years they didn't play some of I never understood why Frosty made the cut.
Well, because Frosty
with the other marquee ones.
Because Frosty was the bigger name.
Right, but he's the bigger name because of marketing.
Well, so is Rudolph.
Hey, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is a wonderful special that holds up.
But Rudolph was made for marketing.
No. I understand, but it stands on its own as a piece of art.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is an epic saga.
No, I love Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I think it actually stands on its own.
Yeah, but you know why? The real reason why you're saying it stands on its own, and it's not so much because of the special, it's because you equate it with the special, and then you also are hearing the Temptations in your ear. That's the reason why it's standing out like that. If it wasn't Burl-eyed singing Frosty the
solid special.
No,
Rudolph, Charlie Brown, the Grinch.
Oh, come on, Charlie Brown.
These are solid. They can actually stand.
So was Frosty.
Yeah, Frosty was dumb. Frosty was dumb. Frosty. I ain't like Frosty.
Frosty is every bit as iconic as the other three that you just
No. I didn't say they weren't iconic. I'm saying that if you had a 3 or 4 year old in your life and you sat him down, many of the other ones I just said actually can stand on their own.
Yes.
Like I'm 4 years old. I don't know anything about Rudolph. Maybe 4 is young because Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer gets a little intense.
And Charlie Brown is a little deep.
Yeah. But like the Grinch stands on its own. This is solid.
Yes.
Frosty the Snowman. It's like
it's
nothing there.
It's same. And actually, I would think that as dark as the whole him melting thing is, I think it's a little bit more palatable for a younger kid in that spectrum. One, because it's the only one outside of Charlie Brown that is 2D animation, which makes it a little bit more, palatable for a little kid. And because it is a snowman, I think a kid can wrap their mind around the idea of snow actually melting. So I think it is actually a little bit more palatable than Rudolph, which, like you said, gets dark.
Yeah,
it gets real dark
and intense
and real intense.
Yeah,
and Charlie Brown, which as cute as it is, you're just grooving off of the
right.
character design.
Charlie Brown's a little philosophical.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, come on, let's be honest. So I think Frosty is actually a little bit more palatable, which is why it would get rerun more often, and let's be fair, also is because it's only half an hour, as opposed to The Year Without a Santa Claus and
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Santa Claus is coming.
Yeah, those are my two
coming to town, which are an hour apiece.
Are they?
Yes, they're both an hour.
They're just
apiece.
so good. They're just so good.
They're good.
They're just so good.
They're good. It's cool stop motion animation, and most of them, they have some memorable songs.
Yeah.
But them being an hour a piece,
that's a tough one.
Fit. That's a tough sit.
Right. Again, and once the real estate got more and more precious.
Yeah.
And then you had the one-offs that they had to they would always play the special of whatever the hot cartoon was that year. Right. It was the Charlie Brown Christmas followed by Pokemon. The Smurfs. Right. Pokemon Christmas. It's come on, man.
I don't even know if there's a Pokemon Christmas. I'm sure.
Right. But it was the Transformers.
Yeah, exactly.
And Santatron.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Bugs Bunny Warner Brothers doesn't have a Christmas thing.
Oh, that's interesting. I never thought about that before.
Of course, their shorts were made for the movies.
Sure.
But even Mickey Mouse then made a Christmas Carol, which gets replayed.
Right.
Warner Brothers, I don't think they have one.
Oh, that's weird.
Not that they probably do, but it certainly is not as ubiquitous as Disney's,
sure,
or for us,
right?
Mr. Magoo's,
right. How
Christmas Carol,
right? How have I seen the Mr. Magoo Christmas Carol?
Well, they don't play that anymore.
I know, but we saw it a lot.
You may have to turn the antenna TV to see that now.
All right, I didn't mean for that to have the Frosty actually is one of my triggers.
Oh God, George Kimona says that WB has Batman for Christmas. There is a memorable episode of Batman the Animated Series. Nobody's playing that at Christmas.
I know.
George. Nobody's playing that at Christmas.
Batman, my parents are dead. Christmas. Yes.
We don't do Christmas here, Alfred.
Right. All right.
So, what are we doing?
I know. I don't even know how that started.
Oh God.
I just heard Frosty and I went to a fugue state. I don't know.
You sure did. Who knew?
I know. It's very specific. But
I had no idea that was going to be.
I was like a little kid sitting there, but not a little kid, but just a little kid. And I'd be in front of the TV and I'm like, come on, man. I know we can do better than Frosty. Even the one with the donkey that helped Jesus that had the long ears.
Isn't that
what was it, Eeyore, the long-eared donkey?
It wasn't Eeyore.
Not Eeyore. It was what was it?
I see
you know what I'm thinking, or the little drummer boy. Remember, 2 or 3 of them that were real Jesus-y.
Yeah,
they were Jesus-y. I'll take all of them over Frosty.
Oh, you see, now you're tripping. You are tripping.
I just like the Rankin Bass stuff.
You are tripping. My John, which I actually looked up not long ago and watched randomly, was the one with the mice.
We've talked about this because I hated that mouse.
Twas the Night Before Christmas.
Yes.
Twas the Night Before Christmas. It's cute. I love it.
I hate that mouse.
I love the song.
It's a good song.
We'll do what's
necessary. I hated that mouse.
Then the miracle needs a hand.
Oh, where's a mouse trap and a little spoonful of peanut butter when you need it? Oh, I hated that mouse.
I love that little father.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Father. All right. That's enough. Between that and Frosty. Oh, I hated him.
It was Rankin Bass. They both were Rankin Bass.
They are Rankin Bass, but yeah. Not Rankin Bass. No, that is Rankin Bass that does the stop motion.
Yeah.
They do stop motion and they did animate. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Too. Yeah. All right. Father. Oh, I hated that
I
mess.
love that joint.
That was another one. I was like, come on, man. I know it's something else we could be playing right now. All right.
But we're in Bootober.
But we're in Bootober.
October. Okay, so we're talking about specials. Is there any think about it. Is there any real Halloween special besides Peanuts that you even remember?
It's funny you should say that. I don't remember them, but in my adulthood nerd life, there've been a couple of box sets of the Rankin Bass specials.
Did they do a Halloween
They
one?
did, I think, 2 of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Like stop motion ones?
Stop motion.
They didn't. They must have not have done.
I think they played them maybe once.
Yeah.
But they do exist and they're around. You
Well,
can
I do
find them
believe
pretty
that.
easily.
I do believe that because
on
I remember like
YouTube,
the
too.
Rankin Bass. They started making like something for everyone. I think like they got an Arbor Day one. Or
Yeah.
something.
But they do have 2 Halloween ones.
Yeah, I don't remember any Halloween specials besides the Peanuts.
Right.
Halloween special.
I don't know
I'm
what
sure
else you need.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's been some like you said, like more recently.
Sure.
I feel,
Tickle Me Elmo, Halloween.
No, I feel like there was a Courage the Cowardly Dog one
Right.
that I kind of remember.
And then I think Tim Burton has just cornered the market.
With the Nightmare Before Christmas.
And then all of his gothy, skinny, emaciated white girl stuff. I haven't been in the sun and I need a sandwich.
Damon, your brother,
Yeah.
is saying that Fat
Albert sure did have a Halloween.
Did he?
That's
I don't remember.
That's a good pull.
I don't.
That's a
remember
good pull, Damon.
The Fat Albert.
That's a good pull.
Now I want to look this
They
up.
sure did, because I think Fat Albert may have dressed up like the Brown Hornet.
That was a big hornet. The Fat Albert. Oh wow, the Fat Albert Halloween special from 1977.
That's right. That's a good pull.
Oh wow, I don't remember this at all. I don't remember this at all. While attempting their Halloween mischief, the kids get the ultimate scare from the lady who lives in the spooky house by the graveyard. Okay, all right. Don't remember that, but there you go.
Spoiler: they all end up friends by the end of the special.
Really?
That's how it all. Yeah.
Fat Albert, you're so special.
I know. If you're not careful, you might learn something
before it's done. And Farrell Blackwell is asking, did the Boondocks have a Halloween special?
I don't remember.
I don't recall the Boondocks Halloween special. Maybe the forgotten season 4 had a Halloween special of that. Who knows? All right. Let's get into some listener mail.
Missives from the missionaries.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got listener mail here. I'm going to go to, this one is from Sean Simmons.
Hey, what's up, Sean?
Hey, Len and Vince. It's funny that the last time I wrote in, I bashed Sean Wayans. And then I hear some news I'm interested in your feedback on. You are reviewing a Sean Wayans film. Yeah, we sure are. Anyway, I wanted to get your feedback on the recent news of Kevin Bacon, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Taylor Page joining the cast of Beverly Hills Cop 4, now titled Beverly Hills Cop: Axel Foley. Along with the returning Judge Reinhold, John Ashton, Bronson Pinchot, and Paul Reiser. And of course, not mentioned here, but it goes without mentioning, Eddie Murphy.
Yes.
Also, I'd like to hear not what you expect of the film, but what you like to see. I'm intrigued by the additions and excited about the returns, but I also hope Ronnie Cox makes an appearance. Last year, I saw him in Being the Ricardos, so he's still active. Also, I had this conversation with friends, and I wanted to see what your picks would be. What would you pick as your favorite sequel to a movie that came out 15 or more years after the original?
Oh, that's easy for me.
Such as Top Gun Maverick, being right now what he picks. And What pre-2000s movie would you pick to be made into a sequel now? Happy Bootober, Sean. Well, first, let's deal with the first part. What do you think of the additions to the Beverly Hills Cop 4
I don't
roster?
Yeah, I don't know what I think about them because I'm so curious to see what are they going to do with this? Because, like, you know, the story is they were going to make a series,
right, where
it focused on his son,
right?
But apparently Eddie Murphy was so good in the dailies and all, they scrapped the son and said they wanted to focus on him,
and thus making it a movie.
Right. I just don't know how. Like to me, Beverly Hills Cop worked so well because Axel Foley is like this disruptive force. You know, he goes out to Beverly Hills and shakes everything. And we talked about in the review, like he very rarely uses his badge of authority.
Right.
He's basically Bugs Bunny. I don't know how 60-year-old Axel Foley, who I'm assuming is still in the police department, and so you assume he's been promoted and stuff. I know originally when they were going to do it with his son, he was supposed to be the commissioner, I think.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. I don't understand what 60-year-old Axel Foley is going to be doing.
Well, me neither. I don't know how much of a disruptor he's going to be. The story doesn't necessarily mean that he has to be a disruptor. Maybe it's him trying to recapture his youth or something like that. Or who knows, maybe they're focusing on Eddie Murphy, but they're still kind of putting the son in there. You know, who knows? What I would like to see from Beverly Hills Cop : Axel Foley is them to realize, yeah, let's just not do this. Because
what you want to see is not see it.
I don't want to.
You don't want to see it.
I don't want to see it because honestly, like, and we haven't reviewed it yet, and eventually we'll get around to it. But I was not a fan of Coming to America, and the reason being is because. Well, there's a lot of reasons why I didn't like that movie, but one of them is that I felt that Eddie Murphy was basically just trying to replay the hits a little bit. And it's nothing, I guess while there technically is nothing wrong with that, Eddie Murphy is not 70 years old. He's not 80 years old. I think Eddie Murphy is still vital enough, young enough, to even returning to an old property to infuse it with something new than just regurgitating what was done before. And I have a funny feeling that that's what's going to be done with this. Yes, are they putting in a couple of actors who I really, really enjoy, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Kevin Bacon? Very much so. Do I really care about John Ashton and Judge Reinhold? Not at this time. Ronnie Cox, he's an older gentleman right now, so maybe you give him a nod, give him a piece in there. But Ronnie Cox probably is like, you know what, I'm good. You know, like if y'all not going to come to me, or maybe if I can do this on Zoom, then like I'm good. I can see Ronnie Cox being like that. He's an actor I really enjoy, but I really just don't see the reason for this. I honestly wasn't really that excited about the series, but at least that was taking it someplace else.
Right.
And taking it out of Eddie Murphy's hand, and maybe we're seeing what somebody else can do with it. But we've seen that type of thing play out before. Right. Back in that Shaft debacle.
Right. I mean, and quietly Coming to America. And
that was a little bit of that. Yeah. So I really just am not excited about the prospect of Beverly Hills Cop, the 4th edition. At all.
Yeah. And the bit that I was, and I'm not even going to say excited, but it made me go, huh. Playing that pass the torch role. Like, I think Brandon Jackson was supposed to play his son, and I've always liked him.
Yeah.
Like it seems like his career, well, I'll just say his career hasn't unfolded how I wanted it to unfold since Roll Bounce.
Mhm.
Like I've liked him since Roll Bounce in Tropic Thunder.
Mhm.
And I was really happy that I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe he can do that. So, but yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I don't think, I'm gonna watch it, but it's really gonna be like, all right. But I'm open to being surprised.
Let's go to his other questions.
Which goes into his other question.
What would you pick as your favorite sequel to a movie that came out 15 or more years after the original?
That is super easy for me.
Yeah, I heard you say that.
If someone had told me that the 6th installment of the Rocky series
okay,
would have been a great movie. The 3rd, perhaps second best in the series, I would have said they're insane. But I think Rocky Balboa is a great movie.
Okay.
Like the film Rocky Balboa that Sylvester Stallone made a few years ago. Like what year's Rocky Balboa? Like you're typing. Oh, well,
sorry.
You were typing, so
I wasn't looking up Rocky Balboa. I was looking up something else. But Rocky Balboa, the movie, came out in 2006.
Yeah, I thought 2006's Rocky Balboa was a great film that actually made a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
I respected the fact that Sylvester Stallone risked playing with the character the way he did, and it worked really well. So that's far and away my favorite legacy sequel years later.
The first one that comes to my mind, and it's not quite 15 years later. Actually, and that's what I was looking up. It's 14 years later. So if you will allow me that.
Okay.
The first one that comes to my mind is The Incredibles 2.
Okay.
I really, really like The Incredibles 2.
Mm-hmm.
It have the same, wow as the first Incredibles? No, it can't.
Right.
It's the sequel. But considering that they then take that time to now focus on, Mrs. Incredible, and she's the focus, and she is like total badass in that movie.
Yeah,
and they still make you care about what's happening in the family as well. And it's very much as the kids are older. Go ahead.
Oh no.
The kids are older. It still very much is focused on the family as a whole and the adults in the room. I really like The Incredibles too. It was really dope.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so that's the first one that comes to mind.
Right.
There's probably others that I'm not thinking about.
Sure.
Your brother Damon is spouting some heresy that I'm not going to repeat on air.
Oh.
He is. Your brother's out of his mind. Your brother is absolutely out of his mind. You know what? I'm going to say it.
Okay.
This way, all of missionarydom can bash him and shame him.
My goodness.
He's saying that Godfather 3 isn't a bad
come
movie.
on, Damon.
The problem
Damon,
that it has
stop.
Godfather in the title.
Stop. Don't do that.
No, that's not the
do that.
That's definitely not the
Don't
problem.
do that.
Come on.
Yeah, that's
shame.
Yeah,
Shame, Damon.
Yeah, that's
shame of missionaries.
That's not good.
Get out of here. It's not a good movie.
Yeah.
You want to talk about retrudging old?
Yeah.
Come on, get out of here. All right. We also got it. We got another email. And this one was from Ellis Heron.
Hey, what's up, Ellis?
Hey, fellas. I fully enjoyed your review of Akeelah and the Bee.
Yeah.
I saw the movie in a theater during the spring of 2006. At the end of the movie, the whole audience applauded.
Yeah.
At the time, I had a side hustle as a movie reviewer for a black newspaper, so your review had me dig up my review of the movie. I forgot how much I enjoyed it. I wrote that the movie had sleeper hit written all over it and that Kiki just had her breakthrough performance. I'm ashamed to say, after all these years, I still don't have this as part of my collection like you do, but rest assured, I will get it and arrange a family movie night with the wife and kids. Looking forward to more thought-provokingly funny reviews in the future. Your boy, Ellis Heron from Fort Worth. P.S. I'm glad you mentioned Kiki's crazy accurate impression of Angela Bassett.
It's a wonder and delight.
What surprises me is that according to Kiki, whenever she bumps into her, Angela never brings the impression up. I personally think they should do another movie where they play mother and daughter again. What do you think? Oh, that would be interesting.
That would be interesting. That'd be fantastic.
But you know, and I don't know if Angela would do this. They should do another movie where Angela plays Kiki's grandmother. And then Kiki, because you know how you always imitate your grandmother when they say something.
Yeah.
And so Angela could just say something out of her mouth, and then Kiki could do her Angela impression,
right,
repeating it to her.
Right.
And thus it's in the movie. It's immortalized for all time.
I would just like Angela Bassett to do a comedy next, because the 45 seconds of the 2 Wakanda Forever trailers.
Oh, yeah.
Grieving mother Angela Bassett is really just too much.
Yeah.
Like, it's just too much in the trailers.
I know. But I got a funny feeling there's going to be like a little badass Angela.
Look, I'm sure she is.
She gonna be flexing.
I was just talking. Who was I just talking to? It may have been my students talking about, you read something first to just get it out the way, and then you go back to kind of critique it. Like, I kind of just want to go ahead and see it one time and just go ahead and see it.
Got you.
So now I got it, and then I can go back and enjoy it.
Okay.
So
I feel you.
We were, I think me and my family, we were talking about Black Panther, and I think I think I saw it like 3 times that opening weekend.
Wow, did you? I know you went to the Wakanda.
Right. So that was definitely one time. And then I know I saw it another time. Like, it was 2 or 3 times, maybe not that weekend, but certainly that week.
Yeah, I saw it.
Like, I remember just seeing it a lot.
I saw it at least twice within the first couple of weeks.
Yeah.
First 2 or 3 weeks in the theaters. Yeah.
So yeah, I need Angela Bassett to make some jokes or something.
I hear you. Programming note for you, ladies and gentlemen. Beginning the month of October, as we move into BOOTOBER, Vincent and I, we've been doing this whole black horror thing for a minute. So we wanted to dig into the crates a little bit and pull out some of our past reviews of some of your favorite horror movies. And we're doing it on a new series that you can find right here on the Micheaux Mission podcast feed. It's called Previously on the Mission. It'll go up the same time that the podcast goes up on Wednesday morning. And it'll be just the review of one of our older films. So
in case you don't want to hear us talk about Christmas specials for 10 minutes.
You just want to hear us going in about Frosty the Snowman for 20 minutes. This is the show that you've been clamoring for. Previously on the Mission. And we're going to starting this in October because we're going through some of our Black Horror Month reviews, and we're going to be kicking it off with one of the more epic reviews.
That's a good episode.
I believe it was episode 143 of the Micheaux Mission. It's from 2018. It is our review of Acrimony. AKA the episode when Len exploded. And to make this previously all the more special, we are not only giving you the review of the film, we are giving you from episode 1 the infamous rant that I went on the first time I saw this movie in the movies, and came onto our review of Attack the Block to tell Vincent about it in glorious X-rated detail.
Yes, he did.
Both that original rant and our review of Acrimony will be kicking off our debut of Previously on the Mission. So wherever you find our podcast, look for that Wednesday morning in the feed. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be epic. Trust me, I was there.
Yeah.
And if you want to suggest your favorite reviews that you would like for us to highlight on Previously on the Micheaux Mission, please email us at micheauxmission@gmail.com or hit us up on all the social medias using hashtag previously, and we'll make it happen for you.
Absolutely.
All right. That's hashtag previously on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Let us know what reviews you want to hear. All right.
All right.
Okay. There's our little programming note.
Ah,
We went through our emails, Vincent.
excellent.
All right. And let's see what else is going on. Okay. All right. We are good to go.
Why you sound like an old black woman about to start singing No Way's Tired? What was that for?
I have no idea. I have no idea. It's like I held my breath while I was reading all
If
of
the
that.
Lord see fit, I'll get to the top 5.
Yes, it's time for the top 5.
God willing, and the creek don't rise.
Yes, it is time for the top 5. Ashy Feet. Did I see Ashy Feet said this? Where was this? Was it? No, it was Farrell Blackwell. It said, speaking of parent-child team-ups, I wish that Denzel Washington and John Boyega would play father and son.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's not bad. That's not a bad
Mm-hmm.
wish. Okay. All right. It's time for the top 5.
All right.
Vincent. So let me get to our music.
All right.
Here it comes.
Top 5. Who's your top 5? My top 5 is. 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 My top 5 is.
All right. Tonight's top 5, Vincent.
Yes.
Now, last week I was telling you about, this film that we're going to be reviewing tonight, Scary Movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I had made a comment
Mm-hmm.
that I felt a little leery about afterwards.
Okay.
And it was in regards to one of the Wayan brothers, specifically Shawn Wayans.
Yes.
And I said that I had found him to be my least favorite of the Wayan brothers.
Okay.
And it was primarily because in my mind, I didn't see much talent
Okay.
on display
Right.
whenever I see him.
Right.
Right. And to be fair, most times when you see Shawn Wayans, he is opposite one of his brothers, usually Marlon,
Right.
who is a very talented
Right.
individual.
I would argue the most talented Wayan.
There you go. But I thought maybe I wasn't being fair
Okay.
to Shawn Wayans. So thus, this week for the top 5, I want to present for our discussion
Okay.
the top 5 Shawn Wayans performances.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Shawn Wayans performances away from his ken.
I'm fascinated because I didn't know that there were 5 performances by Shawn Wayans where he wasn't in the Wayans clan. So I'm looking forward to this.
Well, let's find out.
Okay.
Going in chronological order.
Okay.
So number 5 of the Shawn Wayans performances, we have New Blood from 1999. Now, New Blood is a Canadian-British action thriller written by Michael Hurst, starring John Hurt, Nick Moran, Carrie Ann Moss of the Matrix fame,
Mm-hmm.
Joe Pantoliano of Matrix and many other
Yes, and acting. Yeah. This isn't a bad cast.
And Sean Wayans.
Excellent.
Away from his brothers.
Yes. Have you seen this?
I've not seen this film.
Okay.
I've not seen this. David Stratton of Variety has seen this film from 1999 and says that it's a convoluted setup for what's basically a standard thriller, but thanks to persuasive performances from Hurt and especially Moran, it just about works.
Okay. Does he comment on Sean Wayans at all?
I could not find any commentary
on Sean
Wayans' performance in this film.
And he made the poster.
He made the poster.
Right. Is that cropped out, or is it just the three of them on the poster?
It's just the three of those. That's Nick Moran, Carrie Ann Moss, and Sean Wayans on the poster.
Okay.
So I have to believe that he's essential in some
way. Yeah. He's on the poster, unless they just want a black guy on the poster.
Yeah, unless he just he's filling the quota.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether or not he's good or not.
Right.
They didn't make a New Blood 2.
Right. And on the flip side, the review didn't say that his performance was distracting.
No.
Because it was so bad.
They did not.
So, okay.
So
point to Sean.
Point Sean. That's a point in Sean's favor.
That's a point in Sean's favor.
Very good.
All
Let's
right.
keep score.
All right.
Number 4. Open Mic from 2001.
Okay.
Now, Open Mic is a documentary.
Okay.
This is a documentary that is, according to IMDb, a poignant and disturbingly funny look at the life of a small town comedian trying to break into the big time. It basically tells the story of these two comedians who are trying to find their way in the world of comedy.
Okay.
And Sean Wayans is one of the talking heads in this movie, which features other talking heads such as Bobcat Goldthwait, Jim Brewer, Dave Chappelle, Brian Regan, Victoria Jackson, Tony Rock. So there's quite a few talking heads in this 2001 documentary. Can't find anything about what Sean Wayans is offering there.
Right.
To be fair, I've never seen Sean Wayans do stand-up.
Right.
So I don't know why he's in this documentary.
Well, I've never seen Sean do stand-up, but what I was going to say is I'm ready to give him this point because you said he was a talking head. Mm-hmm. He's a smart guy. And I have to say, one of the aspects of the two younger Wayans brothers, Sean and Marlon, that I enjoy the most as they get older is hearing them talk about the business and talk about their older brothers and talk about their journey into, because I think they have this really unique position where they are arguably the second or third, the third or fourth most successful in the Wayans clan.
Yeah.
But they're the younger brothers. So I feel like Sean had this great vantage point where he watched Keenan build it. He watched Damon kind of continue it. And then they brought in the two younger brothers. So I actually like it when Sean talks about comedy and talks about things. So I haven't seen this either, but I'm ready to grant him this point based on seeing him other places talk.
I'm not going to give him this point.
Okay.
Because if this is a documentary about comedians,
and
admittedly, this is it's a while ago. It's 2001, so it's already 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I don't think Sean Wayans had that much insight into the world of comedy to really offer that nuance a point of view here.
Dude, this is a year. This is a year.
Damon, if it was Keenan, I'd give you that.
This is a year after Scary Movie, though. Like a year after Scary Movie, Sean and Marlon are actual players.
Okay.
I mean, like I know, just to gild the lily a little bit, part of what happened with Scary Movie 2 is they had to rush it out because Scary Movie was such a huge monster. I see what I did. Monster success.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in 2001, Sean had some really interesting things to say.
Okay. All right. Well, so let's split the difference.
All right,
and he gets a half point.
1.5 points for Sean.
He's got one and a half points so far. Okay. All right. Next we have Bicentennial Nigger from 2006. Now, I got a fun thought experiment for you. Now, this is a short film that you can't find any information on.
Okay.
At all. It's a 4-minute film. Shawn Wayans is in it. And it basically is written and directed by Matthew Jackson. I couldn't really find much information in it. And you, like me, when I see Bicentennial Nigger, my mind immediately goes to the Richard Pryor album,
right,
of the same title, but from the early 70s,
right, from like 76, 77,
right,
yeah.
So this is the only, he's not,
I can't really.
And the only information I can find out about this is that this is a short film that features archival footage of Sidney Poitier, Condoleezza Rice, and Don King.
Right.
The only people who are listed as maybe like appearing in the movie are Cedric the Entertainer, Ethel Waters, and Shawn Wayans.
That's quite a hodgepodge,
especially in a short 4-minute film called Bicentennial Nigger.
Yeah.
So
all right, I can't really.
Think we can give him this.
I can't really do anything with this. All right,
I can't really give him this point. But interesting experiment for you. I want you on your little tabby to Google search Bicentennial Nigger 2006. I'll give you a moment.
All right,
and everybody looking at home, Google search Bicentennial Nigger, and then once you do that, then I want you to.
All right, I have Googled it.
You've Googled it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what I want you to do is go to images.
All right, I've gone to images.
Now, if you're anything like me, what is the fourth image? The first three are the Richard Pryor,
right? The Richard Pryor
cover,
and then the fourth one is Clarence Thomas.
It's Clarence Thomas. To be fair,
I mean, look.
To be fair, he comes up because there is archival footage of him as well.
Right.
Film.
Right. It has him. Yeah.
But I think it's interesting that he is the fourth image.
Look, man.
That comes up.
Clarence Thomas has built his career the way he's built his career, so you gonna have to take this.
You just take that L,
right,
bro. All right, next, number 2.
Okay,
we're not giving him a point for
No, not at all.
6 is Bicentennial. So number 2, we have Why We Laugh: Black Comedians on Black Comedy from 2009.
Right.
This is another
documentary.
The film analyzes the history of comedy and how the television and film industries have stereotyped African Americans throughout a multitude of generations. This is a documentary that was eventually acquired by Showtime, and I believe it did appear on Showtime. It features, among the talking heads in it, Chris Rock, Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, Steve Harvey, Cat Williams, Sherry Shepherd, Niecy Nash, Marla Gibbs.
Yeah, I think I saw this.
Gregory, and Marlon Wayans.
Yeah.
This is a documentary that's directed by Robert Townsend.
Yeah.
Shawn Wayans also appears in this as a talking head. I just realized Marlon Wayans is in this as well.
Yeah.
So we can't give him a point because he's not a Wayans.
Right. He's not a Wayans from the Wayans. Yeah.
So he can't get a point for Why We Laugh: Black Comedians on Black Comedy.
It's a shame because I think this is another moment. This may be the moment where I said
this.
I like listening to the younger brothers talk.
Yes. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is where you heard them.
Right. Because also they're talking about the challenges with their television show, and certainly by 2009, they're far enough away from Scary Movie that they can talk about that and the other movies that they subsequently made. So
all right,
yeah.
So he can't get a point for that
Right,
because
right.
Marlon's there,
And that's a shame.
It's a shame.
Yeah, okay.
So then we go to number one.
Number one.
Number one is blank.
Right, because you could only find 4.
I can only find 4.
Look, man, Sean and Marlon are a team.
They are a team.
They're a team.
They are a team.
And
I can't remember.
I think Sean's strength might be the writing. Like they put him. It's funny. I was listening to the "I'm Gonna Get You Sucker" episode, and we talked about Keenan and how Keenan had, in retrospect, a fairly short career in front of the camera.
Yes,
like you can count on one hand the movies that Keenan made as an actor.
Right.
I mean, what? It's I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. It's Low Down Dirty Shame. It was the other one where he played like a Marine, like it was almost a straight action film.
You're meaning as the leading man.
As a leading man, but hell, let's pull back and just say in it. So he's in.
I got a feeling
he's in Hollywood Shuffle.
Don't get me wrong. I don't think he did a whole lot.
Right.
But I wouldn't be surprised if, like, as a bit player.
Right. But like, Keenan is a director.
Yeah.
So saying, oh, whoa, Keenan's acting is this, that, and the other, while true, it doesn't really reflect Keenan's strength.
Right.
Like Keenan is a director. I think, and obviously we're going to talk about this with Scary Movie. I think Sean and Marlon have carved out, this is not even debatable. They have carved out a successful career as writers and creators. So regardless of Sean's relative strength in front of the camera, I think that's a small part of his trick bag.
Okay, I'll give you that. And yes, they have carved out a successful career. So I can't knock them for that.
As creators, again, I think, and again, I don't want to go too much into the review. I think the Wayans family has done a great job of creating their own space.
True.
Like I don't have to, like, part of the reason you don't have Sean and stuff outside of the Wayans is because
they got their own lane.
They got their own lane. Like they've created their own lane. It's almost more of a Tyler Perry model.
Well, to be fair, honestly, I wish it was a little bit more Tyler Perry-ish in that. Say what you will about Tyler, he tries his hands at different genres.
Right.
And I think that if they allowed themselves to maybe at least attempt other genres, they might have been able to carve out a lane for someone who is possibly acting wise every one of their equals.
Right.
Their sister Kim.
Right. True. So, but all right.
All right.
We'll be talking about Sean all evening.
We will. We certainly will. Okay. So that is my top 5.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for once again indulging me. All right. Before we get to the Game of Kings, I'm going to give a quick early shout out to the film that we're going to be reviewing next week, giving you all a head start.
Yes.
Just trying to change things up a little bit. Next week on BOOTOBER, it will be my selection, and we are going to be reviewing again another film from 2018, The First Purge, not to be confused with The Purge. This is the film The First Purge, the prequel, to The Purge.
Yeah.
And it's a movie to watch, ladies and gentlemen. It actually is a very interesting movie. It has a very interesting story.
I'm looking forward to it. I haven't seen it.
I think you will all enjoy it. So all of you that are watching the films along with us, check out The First Purge and then come back here next week for our review. All right.
It
is time for the Game of Kings.
The Game of Kings.
Like, you'd be surprised what a person can do with just a sensitive touch and a sensitive sound.
6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin, ladies and gentlemen, where Vincent will attempt to get to an actor that I have selected for him in 6 movies or less.
Yes.
From that 70s space age cat.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Named D'Urville Martin.
He was from the future.
Yes. You know what? I would totally watch The Adventures of D'Urville Martin.
Come on, man.
I would totally watch that. Like, even if they just remade all of the adventures of, like, they should remake The Adventures of Buck Rogers in the 25th century.
But with D'Urville Martin. Like, you're joking and laughing. Understand this. If I had all the money in the world, I would give a lot of that money to, like, Ava DuVernay and say, I just want a straight ahead documentary series about D'Urville Martin's life. And just his career and his path and everything. Like, we joke here, but he really was everywhere.
Here's the thing. I don't want a straight ahead documentary or D'Urville
that would
Martin.
be so interesting.
No, you know what I want? And it's interesting that you went Ava DuVernay. I want Don Cheadle to give us D'Urville ahead. That's what I want. Just this fever dream of what D'Urville thinks his life
was
is.
Thinking in like 1980. Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah. All right. Oh, well, one day.
Admit.
That's
a little bit higher,
we're
right?
keeping notes for when we're super billionaires. All right. All right. What we got?
All right. Vincent, in the 6 movies or less.
Okay.
I need you to get from D'Urville Martin.
6 moves or less to
Sean Bean.
Okay.
Do you know anything besides the Lord of the Rings movies?
I don't need anything but Lord of the Rings.
Okay. All right.
I don't need anything but Lord of the Rings. Okay, this is how I'm going to get to Sean Bean.
Because I can tell you an easier movie.
No. I'm going to get to him pretty quickly with this.
All right.
You're right. I'm 100% going to use Lord of the Rings, but I just forgot my man's name who played Gandalf.
Oh, Ian McKellen.
Okay, so this is how we're going to get to Sean Bean. D'Urville Martin. I'm actually trying to think of an interesting way to get to him. See if I can get real interesting. D'Urville Martin.
Someone's in the chat said, white guy, Vincent's blind spot.
It's true. It's my white guy blinders. But here's the thing. D'Urville Martin was, here you go, right here. D'Urville Martin was in 5 on the Black Hand side with Leonard Jackson. Leonard Jackson was in Boomerang with Halle Berry.
Okay.
You can probably finish it now. Halle Berry is in the X-Men with Patrick Stewart. No, Halle Berry was in
Well, she was.
no, but she was, but I'm trying to think, was Ian McKellen in X-Men as Magneto?
Like the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been on almost every one
Oh,
of them.
there you go then. Halle Berry. I don't even need Patrick Stewart. Yeah, Halle Berry is in X-Men with Ian McKellen, who is in Lord of the Rings with Sean Bean.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good, Vincent. Very
Yeah.
good.
I was trying to get to Patrick Stewart in Dune, but I couldn't think of anyone. I couldn't get to Derville Martin to what's my man's name who plays Paul Atreides in Dune?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. The guy from
Oh, here you go. Here you go. Derville Martin is in the final come down with
Billy D.
Billy D. Williams. Billy D. Williams is in Empire Strikes Back with Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford is in Blade Runner with Sean Young. Sean Young is in Dune with Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart is in the X-Men with Ian McKellen, who's in Lord of the Rings with Sean Bean. So
Yeah.
that I took the long way around, but I use a whole bunch of movies that I like a lot.
Which is cool. But
Yeah.
but when you went to Harrison Ford, I thought you were right there because he's in Patriot Games with Sean Bean.
I forgot Sean Bean was in Patriot Games.
Sean Bean has died in like
Yeah.
crazy tons of movies.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well,
all
that's
right.
his deal.
That is his deal.
Yeah.
All right, very
Yeah.
good, Vincent.
Yeah, it's funny, and I was going to say this is the 6 Degrees of Derville Martin is like Game of Thrones without all the incest.
All right, you ready for the next one?
I am ready for the next one. Sean Bean was a good one. You tried to get me.
Oh, I'm going to get you with this one.
All right, here we go.
This one, you're going to think it's easy, but
It's only easy if you know.
Right.
All right, who we got?
Get from Derville Martin
to
Ming-Na Wen.
Ming-Na Wen. Huh. The problem with me and Ming-Na Wen is I only know her from television. What was Ming-Na Wen in? This is going to be super racist. But I got it. Was she in Crazy Rich Asians?
Actually, I don't believe so, but let me
Oh, that
check.
was super racist. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that was a little racist. No, she's not in that.
Oh, so now I just feel terrible.
But no, you asked the question.
I
You
know,
didn't
but the only reason I asked is because she was Asian.
I mean, it's just like asking, like,
No, it's anything that you say would be terrible. Like, it's like Lola Falana, was she in Roots? That's terrible. I'm sorry. I'm just flailing.
Was Sean Bean in Ku Klux Klan A Love Story? I seem to remember him on the call.
Right. That's terrible.
No, he wasn't in that.
I'm sorry. I apologize for anyone who hears that.
I don't think you would because look, that's the name of the movie.
I know.
Like, if you would ask,
like, I'm scared to ask about like Joy Luck Club. Like, I'm just thinking of all stuff with some Asians in it.
All right. Ming-Na Wen.
Ming-Na Wen.
Oh, are you asking me about the Joy Luck Club?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Because I'm not.
Okay. Just checking.
Ming-Na, what was she in the movies?
This is real. I mean, like, when I tell you, you'll be like,
I just don't remember her in the movies. What's the last movie she was in?
Okay. The last movie that she was in was.
I like her too.
I don't. If I tell you, it's going to give it away.
Right, because all I know her from is ER and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, really? That's all you know her? That's not all you know her from. You just don't know that you know her from other things.
Oh, wait a minute. Isn't she the voice of the leopard in Kung Fu Panda?
She
is
not in Kung Fu Panda.
Oh my God. Let me just stop talking. Oh my God. I'm about to fool around and mess up the show.
She Bruce Lee's sister.
I know. Okay, stop. Who is that? Whose voice is that in Kung Fu Panda?
I will look that up for you, Vincent. I'm going to look that up. Hold on.
Then I'm just gonna stop. You're gonna have to tell me because I just sound like the most racist person ever.
I don't know. Is that Viper?
It's like the leopard.
Well, like they have the
I don't know the leopard's name.
They have the character names.
Who's the first female voice
wait a minute.
on the cast?
I'm about to tell you. All right, here we go.
She's like the only woman in the cast.
The Tigress, who I'm thinking is it was voiced by Angelina Jolie. Yeah, that was Angelina Jolie. Viper, which is the only other like female, like lead female I'm seeing, that was Lucy Liu.
Oh my God. Yes, I'm just okay. Don't tell me tell me the next to last movie.
Farrah Blackwell says, Vince, this is getting more racist with each.
I know. So I'm not guessing anymore. I'm not guessing anymore. Give me the next to last movie. Again, I'm just flailing.
Somebody said, Vince, why don't you ask about Crouching Tiger?
I know, right? It's just terrible. I know she's not in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
No, she's not.
Well, I know that. I know she's not. That's my girl in Crouching Tiger.
You want me to give it to you?
Sure, because yeah.
You were
I don't want to guess anymore.
You were on the right track with voice.
Okay.
Do you want to take another shot at it?
No, I don't. I don't want to take any more shots. I don't want to take any more shots. Because, like, I want to, like, I want to, nope, no more shots. No more shots.
You are cut off.
I'm cutting.
You are cut off.
I'm cutting myself off from shots.
Cut off from shots.
Yeah.
All right. First of all, she is in the Joy Luck Club.
Shit.
It's like a big break.
I was so scared, though. I was so scared. Now you got me shook. I don't remember who else was in the Joy Luck Club, and I don't want to guess.
Well, it's fine. They probably wouldn't have helped you, but the movie that would have done it for you, actually, because she's in 1994's Street Fighter.
Oh, well.
But
yeah,
even more so than that, in 1998, she is the title character.
Oh, my goodness.
The voice of Mulan.
Oh,
other voice
right. Eddie Murphy.
prominent.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy goes right to. She was the voice of Mulan?
Yeah. It's so much so, and so revered for her performance in that, which is amazing. I love Mulan. That in the live action Mulan that just came out a couple of years ago, she does a cameo.
Okay.
Which is why I didn't want to give you that movie.
Okay. Well, okay. You've totally messed me up. Who else is in Joy Luck Club? Let me see if I can get to Joy Luck Club.
Well, I think the only other names that you would know are Rosalind Chow.
I probably need to see
her if you see her.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
And Frances Nguyen.
Oh, who's another one? I probably know if I
see her. I think those are probably only Yeah, those are the only actresses who I think that you would know if you saw them, and I'm confident that if you saw a picture of them,
Sure.
you would know both of them.
Who are the men in that?
Oh, I mean, did any who cares? Like it's all about the women. In that
No,
movie.
no. But
As a matter of fact, I'm looking here at the cast, and well, Andrew McCarthy's in there.
let's see.
Victor Wong. That's
Victor Wong.
another name you would know if you saw his face. You'd know him. I don't know if you necessarily be able to connect to him though. And Michael Paul Chan. He's like a bald actor.
Right.
Asian actor. You would know him if you see him. But again, I don't know.
I was about to say Victor Wong was in Big Trouble in Little China.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been in
so I'd
bunch
get
of
to
stuff.
Kurt Russell.
Yeah, but would you
Get
have
to
pulled?
him.
But if I said Joy Luck Club, would you have pulled?
No. I would have done this. Like who all was in it. When you said Victor
okay.
Wong, I recognized Victor Wong's name.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, that was terrible. That was all around terrible. It was all around terrible.
I mean, you know.
But for the record, D'Urville Martin is in.
You're so chastened.
Because I can't even do it. D'Urville Martin is in Hell Up in Harlem with Fred Williamson, who's in Three the Hard Way with Jim Kelly.
Okay.
Who's in Black Belt Jones with Scatman Crothers.
Okay.
Who's in Truck Turner with Isaac Hayes.
Okay.
Who's in Escape from New York. Oh, yeah. See, I've messed up because Victor Wong is in Big Trouble in Little China, not Escape from New York.
Yeah.
So I was
Why don't you just do Eddie Murphy?
I know, because I'm just.
I'm sitting here. Why is he not?
Because you know the Eddie Murphy thing is so. All right, so you know D'Urville Martin, Leonard Jackson, Eddie Murphy, Ming Na Wen, who is a distinctly different actress than Michelle Yeoh and Lucy Liu. This was terrible, Lynn, and I blame you.
It's fine. We seem to have uncovered another blind spot.
I don't think about her in the movies, and I think this bears it out. Like if her biggest role in the movies is her voice.
I mean, yeah. I mean, she's doing great work.
Yeah.
On the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And you didn't even mention that she's in Disney's Boba Fett series.
She was good in Boba Fett. She was one of the few good things in Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I used to love her on ER.
I never saw ER.
Yeah, she was on ER. She was really good. But all right.
Okay.
Can we talk about Christmas special some more or something?
Oh, real quick, just so you know. No.
Okay, go ahead.
It just dawned on me where you would know Rosalind Chow from.
Okay.
She was on Deep Space Nine.
Yes, she was. Yeah.
I just drew a blank on that.
She was a Kai, wasn't she?
No, that was recently departed Louise Fletcher.
No, I know Louise Fletcher was Kai Wynn, but I thought Rosalind.
No, Rosalind Chow was the wife of Chief O'Brien.
Oh. Well, that's the only thing I'd know her from.
No, well,
Yeah.
she did other things,
Yeah, okay. All right.
such as the Joy Luck Club.
Plus, I don't know. I don't want to ask. I'm never asking who's in the Joy Luck Club or Crazy Rich Asians again.
You sure she wasn't in Kung Fu Hustle?
Come on, man. Stop.
I could have sworn I saw her. in Kung Fu
Stop.
Hustle.
That's Stephen Chow. Yes.
Look at you,
Yeah,
boy, your
th-
high
th-
horse
that's
now.
right. That's right. Stephen Chow. The great Stephen Chow. Yes.
Now he's found his platitudes.
Yes, that's right.
All right. All right. Let's
Do something else. Let's do something else.
let's get into our review of Scary Movie. But first, it's time for trailer talk. Part of the show that will be edited out of the podcast
Yes, yes.
so that we can throw all the shame in the world at Vincent.
Well, why wasn't she in Crazy Rich Asians? How they diss my girl and not have her in
Now
it?
she's your girl.
Right, like everybody else was in it. They found every Asian actor and actress
That's not true.
in the world.
That's not true. You ever see that movie?
I actually didn't.
It's not a bad movie.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they got pretty good reviews.
It did. It did indeed. I had something I didn't want to talk about on for a trailer talk, and now I just it left my. I forgot about it. This is what happened when I didn't write it down. When it
Didn't write it down.
Oh, George Kimono wants to know: can we talk about Interview with a Vampire?
I haven't seen it yet. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
I'm glad they got it real queer though.
Okay, so remind me, what's the story about?
Interview with the Vampire is just what it sounds like. There is a vampire that I think in the beginning is at least 100 years old.
Right. Well, I remember the original. Like,
And
I never read the book, but I remember the movie.
Right. And you know, he's getting interviewed.
Yeah.
And he is talking about his life.
Yes.
But he's also talking about the vampire that turned him into a vampire.
Is that vampire Lestat? Right?
Yes.
So Lestat is the vampire that turned him into
I think his name is Luis.
Okay.
And you have to forgive me because I haven't read it in years, but yeah. And the thing about it, Anne Rice wrote these books back in the 80s. They end up turning a little girl, the two of them. The Lestat and the interviewee, I think Luis, and then they turn a little girl. And the three of them kind of have this life together.
Mm-hmm.
There was always a barely veiled gay subtext.
I seem to remember.
Like barely veiled.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to downplay it in the movie because, you know, of course, Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise are manly men's that would never ever be attracted to other men.
Mm-hmm.
But the real the real question was, what are they going to do with the relationship between the two in this series? And it looks like it's unabashedly a gay love story. Also, in the book, Luis is a white man, but in the show he's black, played by the brother. Speaking of Game of Thrones, remember the brother who played the warrior? You know what I mean? The brother that played the warrior.
Who played Grey Worm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The brother who plays Grey Worm is the lead.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So then you have the complexities of a black man in this kind of world. and it's gotten good reviews. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Where's it on?
AMC.
Oh yeah,
Maybe.
Which is why I don't have cable. So
I mean, it's on Hulu. Like I just saw it on Hulu.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, but okay. Well, maybe
I'm pretty sure it's on Hulu.
All right.
But I haven't seen it yet, George. But I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, George Cremona says that Grey Worm is killing it on there.
I heard he's good.
Well, I mean, he was
I
one
heard
of the better things in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I heard he's very good.
So maybe I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Farrell Blackwell wants to know, can we have a preemptive convo about the Wakanda salute? I don't know if I'm the Wakandan salute. And I'm assuming he's talking about, the Wakanda.
Right. What's the are we not are people mad at it? Are we mad? Are we mad about something?
I don't.
Are we mad?
I don't know.
We can't Wakanda forever no more.
I don't know. I don't know what is
right. What's the conversation?
Why do we need to have a conversation about the Wakanda salute?
What's going on, Pharaoh?
Perhaps he's typing, so I'll give him a moment
all right.
to type it out. I know that the salute itself, the history of the salute. I remember Ryan Coogler said on the director's commentary, I believe, on the first Black Panther, was that the salute, and I'm reading here from inverse.com, comes from two different sources: Egyptian pharaohs and sculptures from the West Africa, as well as the words love and hug in ASL.
Oh,
so that's kind of like the origins of it, but no, I don't know anything else about, something about that. I don't know. I'll give him a moment to type in. I still can't remember when there was something I wanted to bring up to you that I watched recently. If I can't remember it, and Farrell Blackwell doesn't chime in, then we'll just forget about it. Have you caught up on Lower Decks? Probably not.
Pretty sure I have.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah.
You liking it? Still?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, good show.
Yeah.
You're enjoying it. There was something else. I can't remember. Okay. Oh, did you watch? That's what it was. Did you watch the Tyler Perry movie?
I did not.
And the Jazz Man.
I did not.
What's it called? Jazz Man.
Jazz Man Blues.
You haven't watched that yet.
I did not.
Okay, you're slacking.
Yeah, I know. We decided to watch the new episode of Atlanta instead, which was a much better choice, I'm going to say.
Okay. Should I return to Atlanta?
Oh, you 100% should return to Atlanta. This season is killing it.
Well,
and they're back in Atlanta.
Well, they better be. It's the last freaking season.
Yeah. And the last episode, top 5 episodes.
There's only been like 2 or 3 so far, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but the last episode was stellar.
Well, I got to eat dinner after we do the show, so maybe I'll watch the first episode while I'm watching
it. Here's a little hint, a little bit of spoiler. Cat Williams is back as his uncle.
Okay.
Yeah, this is about Ern and Al's family.
Okay.
Yeah, right. So it was a stellar episode.
All right, cool. Is it funny again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's how I'll return.
I think you will love this last episode.
Okay.
And then we'll,
All right. All right. I'm gonna check it out. All right. Let's get into our review.
All right. Farrell left us hanging about the Wakanda salute.
Yeah, you brought up Atlanta. Now he's all in
about Atlanta.
Looking all over Atlanta.
All right. Let's talk about Scary Movie.
Let's get into Scary Movie. Scary Movie, a 2000 American slasher parody film directed by Keenan Ivan Wayans and written by Marlon and Sean Wayans. The movie is a parody of multiple genres, including horror, slasher, and mystery, spoofing primarily Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer. This film also features performances by Anna Faris, Shannon Elizabeth, Kurt Fuller, Carmen Electra, Dave Sheridan, Cherry O'Terry, Regina Hall, and Lachlan Monroe.
Yes, can't forget Lachlan Monroe.
In Vincent's selection, as we kick off BOOTOBER here on the Micheaux Mission. Vincent, what say you of Scary Movie?
Scary Movie is a perfect example of my relationship with the Wayans family.
Okay, do tell.
We mentioned it a little bit before, but before the review, we've talked about them on and off throughout our tenure here, especially in our review of I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. I am at best ambivalent about the vast majority of the output over the past 30 years from the Wayans family. I think there were parts of In Living Color that were very smart, very insightful, very cutting, but I think more In Living Color than people acknowledge was kind of juvenile, kind of low-hanging fruit. There were a lot of sort of, you know, the fart jokes and the ladies do this and men do that kind of jokes, this, that, and the other. I think I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. And as I mentioned, I was just listening to our review earlier, is a very schizophrenic film. And for every moment that is really smart and really kind of funny, there's a lot of again, really juvenile, broad humor. And let's be clear, there's nothing intrinsically wrong with that type of humor. I just don't like it. Like, it's just, you know, the older I get, it just doesn't hold my attention.
Right.
And Scary Movie, as the first film that the younger Wayan brothers, Sean and Marlon, wrote, I think is just an extended series of really juvenile jokes. You know, it's a lot of, you know, barely closeted gay guy jokes, and there are jokes about, you know, a lot of sex jokes, a lot of marijuana jokes. Like, it's just very kind of lowbrow type of thing. I think as a spoof, you mentioned it spoofs Scream, and really it spoofs I Know What You Did Last Summer. Right. The only part of Scream that they really integrate into the plot is that the killer wears the Scream mask.
And the opening scene.
At the opening scene, but even the opening scene as a spoof, it doesn't work, because the opening scene of Scream was commentary on horror movies.
Right.
So it was almost like a Xerox of a Xerox. Not even a Xerox of a Xerox. It's like somebody hand drew the Xerox of what Scream was commenting on. And as a spoof, even that, I don't think it works that well, because I think intrinsically a spoof has to resemble what it's mocking enough.
Right.
That you get that it's a spoof. Going, you know, circling back when we talk about spoofs, and we talked about this with I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. In a lot of ways, the pinnacle of spoofs was Airplane. But part of what made Airplane work is that actors like Leslie Nielsen, actors like, and I forget the main character's name, but Leslie Nielsen is the one that jumps out at me. These were serious actors who were now making jokes.
Yeah.
So that it was enough that you could see what it was actually spoofing.
Right. Especially like Leslie Nielsen you mentioned, but I think the one name you really want to pull is Peter Graves.
Peter Graves
as the lead pilot.
Absolutely. These are people who were serious actors. Now they're making jokes. the best spoof of horror movies that I've seen, frankly, those 2 or 3 Halloween episodes of Key and Peele, where you see Jordan Peele's eye, where he's making fun of. This is really just, again, these sort of extended juvenile jokes, and the framework is the horror. So, as a film, I'm not really a fan of Scary Movie. Having said that, I absolutely adore the Wayans brothers and the Wayans family.
Okay.
And I love the way that they have navigated Hollywood, the way they've built their empire, the way they've put together a space for them to operate within. And although I don't like Scary Movie, I love Scary Movie because I love how Sean, Marlon, and Keenan pulled this amazing trick where they made a black movie. If you're going to judge a film by its creators, this is a film written by 2 black men and directed by a black man. But they keep their cards so close to the vest that you don't know it. As you mentioned, Sean and Marlon are in the movie. They are characters in the movie, but their characters are very stock characters.
Right.
Marlon is a stoner. Sean is a star football player who is barely closeted. That is his whole shtick.
His whole shtick.
The most racialized character in the film is Regina Hall. And she's not in the film that much.
Not at all.
Like, they really do kind of keep her over on the side. And it's so deliberate and so intentional. So much so that there's a moment where they spoof this sort of boilerplate language that you hear in movies sometimes, where 2 characters have fallen in love and one of them says, "Oh, it's like being in a movie." And one of the characters says, "Well, we are in a movie." And then they, pull back and show the production crew. But it's not the director. They say, "Oh, well, that's the sound man. That's the script supervisor." And it was such an obvious place to have the director. Like, whenever you have this kind of bit where they pull back and show the people making the film, it's always the director sitting there.
Right.
But in this case, it's the script supervisor who's white. And I love that. Like, I love how they use this to create the foundation for their own empire. They being Sean and Marlon, because Sean and Marlon, of course, go on to create a bunch of spoof movies. And again, not really my cup of tea, but I have so much respect for them. And it kind of starts here for Sean and Marlon. So that, again, I think it's very lowbrow. There are no performances in here to really point at. I think Anna Faris holds it together as much as you need to hold something like this together, and certainly she's gone on to do interesting work as the lead. Marlon is maybe second gear.
Yeah.
As far as what Marlon does, like, this is not a heavy lift for Marlon at all. But in a film filled with performances that right now, if you ask me to point out the vast majority of the primary cast in a lineup, I couldn't. Marlon is at least jumping around. The jokes, again, very juvenile. And then there are 1 or 2 jokes that like, I'm not sure why there was an extended Matrix spoof in the midst of it that doesn't age that well. There's a "what's up" moment
that doesn't age well.
That I'm surprised. But again, I don't really like Scary Movie, but I love Scary Movie just because it represents, and it's Scary Movie.
Yeah. Well, I don't like Scary Movie. I don't like Scary Movie at all. I can appreciate the world that the Wayans family have carved out for themselves in Hollywood, yet still find myself like you. I think I'm also a lot more miss than hit with their output.
Mm-hmm.
And it begins with this one, which you can almost see them saying, hey, if the Zucker brothers can make Airplane and all the movies they made in the wake of that, like the Naked Gun movies and things of that nature, then we can be just as silly as they are. Right. And to be fair, you mentioned Airplane is definitely the apex of those type of spoof movies from the 70s on, and everything else is pretty much diminishing returns.
100%. I don't like any of the Naked Gun movies.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of most of the Naked Gun movies either, because like you said, it's primarily because the actors forget that they are supposed to be 100% straight. And to be fair, it's not all in the Naked Guns. It's not always necessarily the actors. I think it's also the writing that got lazier and lazier. With this, nobody is playing it straight. Everybody's got, everybody's winking at the camera. So it doesn't work on that level. And like you said, as opposed to Airplane and maybe even the best of the Naked Gun movies, all of those movies, what they had in common, they were trying to be rapid fire jokes coming at you, right? But each joke that they were trying to throw at you, for the most part, was trying to be a one of one. Every once in a while, they might call back to something that happened. But for the most part, each joke was supposed to be a new joke, something new coming your way. This movie really has about 4 or 5 jokes or themes, and then they just keep returning to them. Because you talked about Shawn Wayans' character being, barely closeted. I counted before the first hour of the movie is over, there are at least 10 excuse me, there are at least 10 is he or is he not gay jokes to the screen. Whether it be him talking about like you get his arms, I'll get his ass, and he's humping like this dead guy, or talking about how much he loves his fellow football players, and snapping towels, and I'm like, okay, we get the joke, right? You talk about like almost, I think every woman, with the possible exception of Regina Hall, does a fart joke in the movie. Anytime you see somebody standing still for more than 2 seconds, guarantee something's about to hit them,
right,
and knock them off the screen as a swipe to the next screen. There's like about 4 or 5 jokes in this movie, and they just keep returning to the same theme. That is, while that is definitely lowbrow, because most of these jokes are lowbrow, that it is also, I'm sorry, lazy writing. That's first draft writing. And while you can cape up for Marlon and Shawn as a writing team, okay, but dude, can y'all go a little deeper? If your brothers have taught you anything,
right, to
go maybe a little, at least one step down, one step up from just, whatever first comes to your head. And I understand that you're younger, and like, this type of movie is low-hanging fruit, but let's try and do something better. Because Quiet as Kept, if maybe you try and show that you can do something that is a cut above what has happened, what has preceded you, in far as like, the worst of the Naked Gun movies and even the worst of the airplane movies, then perhaps what happens to you kind of getting elbowed out of the sequels doesn't happen because you maybe staked a little bit more of a claim to why it needs to be you
right
in the driver's seat,
right
because that's what happens going forward. They kind of like get elbowed out, because like, hey, well, we got a couple other guys that can,
right we don't actually need you to do this,
you know what I mean. So I think in that regards, they're a little bit of their own worst enemies.
Right. I mean, in their defense, they kind of do high concept as time goes on, get higher concept.
Well, are we talking about white chicks?
I mean,
Little Man,
they're higher concepts in this.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you that.
Right.
I will give you that. We'll talk about those movies. Well, we did White Chicks. Didn't we do
We did not do
No,
White
we
Chicks.
were supposed to do White Chicks and then we didn't do it. Because
Right.
I remember I made a flyer for it.
Right.
But yeah, so like that is like a big failure of this movie. And I can't give the Wayan brothers, or at least these two Wayan brothers, a pass, because as the younger brothers, you're supposed to at least try and learn from the brothers that gone before. And again, I can't give them a pass because the bigger brother is directing the film.
Right.
And it is incumbent upon him, like, yeah, you're just trying to get the movie made, but it's incumbent upon him to know a little better.
Right.
If this movie even aspires to try to be close to the level of I'm Gonna Get You Sucker or Low Down Dirty Shame, or especially I'm Gonna Get You Sucker,
right,
then maybe you're saying something there.
Right.
But it doesn't. And I think the proof is in the pudding. People have, member berries for I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. But when you go to the blaxploitation spoof that really kills it and does it right, it's Black Dynamite.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really just fall down on, like, I was so tired.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I was so tired of this movie. Regina Hall is in this. She's not good in this movie either. I'm sorry. I like Regina Hall, but I just, and yeah, she's just going for it. She's like, she knows where she's in.
Yes.
If Marlon is like at half speed, Regina Hall she's on autopilot.
Yeah, absolutely.
She could care less.
Yeah.
She's like, just get me out of here.
I really, we need to watch this sooner than later. I thought, I have a memory of Don't Be a Menace to South Central being sharper than this. And I wonder if, and that was made 4 years before this.
Yeah,
and that was
made in 1996.
Right. And that's just Sean and Marlon writing along with Paul Bowman. I wonder if in their, again, I believe, very deliberate move to deracialize this, that also informs what we're talking about.
Perhaps. The other thing that Don't Be a Menace has going for it, that movie is directed by Paris Barclay, who is an Emmy award-winning director of television, and such prominent series such as The West Wing, ER, NYPD Blue. Maybe a stronger directing hand, alongside who knows what Phil Bowman is bringing in the writer's room to kind of stitch their craziness together,
Right.
provide a structure
Yeah.
upon which their insanity can live to make something that's a lot more palatable and enjoyable than this hodgepodge of sketches.
And memorable. Like, I just watched Scary Movie a few hours ago. I don't remember anything from it.
And it's interesting that you brought up In Living Color, because let's be fair, even the best of sketch comedy shows, if you lined up all of their sketches, the majority of all the sketches are not going to win.
Absolutely true. Absolutely correct.
The difference is the ones that stand out are so superlative,
yes,
that they are complete evidence of what everything that this this ensemble or this show has to offer. I would contend, and I could be wrong because it's been a minute, In Living Color, while they did have some memorable sketches, of course, but how much of those memorable sketches are because of the writing or the performer?
Right. You had this ridiculously talented cast.
Right.
Yeah.
Who every once in a while could then really elevate the material.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the jokes, just thinking back to In Living Color, a lot of the jokes in that, and I can't remember what exactly the name of their bit was, but where Damon Wayans is the gay film reviewer.
Yes.
Alongside
Men on Film.
But I'm just drawing a blank on the other actor.
Now I've just drawn a blank. David Allen Greer.
David Allen Greer. A lot of those jokes are, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's the performance.
Yeah.
Of those two.
That is true.
That elevates.
That is true.
That's Damon Wayans elevating Homie the Clown.
Yeah.
Is Jim Carrey pretty much writing his own stuff.
Yeah.
Which are the ones where he, excels in.
Yeah.
Do you really remember any memorable Keenan Ivory Wayans performances from In Living Color except Arsenio Hall?
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
So I think this is indicative of maybe let's put it to use a recurring refrain from the show, a blind spot in their resume a little bit, that their writing is maybe not all it could be.
Right. I think success is always a strong defense. Success plus longevity. And I think regardless of any arguments about the quality, I think Sean and Marlon have really, again, consistently carved out a successful career.
Yeah, but okay, fair enough. But so is Tyler Perry.
Well, but I think even Tyler,
But if you are giving people low hanging fruit, people are going to reach for that low hanging fruit.
I think they've done something more impressive than Tyler Perry in a lot of ways. I think Tyler Perry's most impressive feat was creating this loyal audience, so that, frankly, for his base, Tyler Perry can do anything he wants. So that it really the quality of the work is not even, it doesn't even matter for Tyler Perry for his base. You said it yourself. They were not identified with Scary Movie to the point where they got elbowed out or they quit Scary Movie, and no one really noticed because no one knew they were part of the Scary Movie thing. But then they go on, and again, Little Man, White Girls, Dance Flick, like they always have every couple of years some silly movie.
Yeah, you didn't even go 50
50 Shades of Black
Yeah.
that do pretty well. Like they do pretty well.
Yeah, but again, like I said, it's low hanging fruit. People are going to go for that.
It's low hanging fruit, but yeah, it's a lot of people do low hanging fruit. They haven't done it as long and as successfully.
Fair enough. Okay.
And to circle back to the Tyler Perry thing, I don't know how much they lean on the Wayans name anymore as much as they are kind of upholding it or expanding it even.
Okay. No, they've carved out their own little
right. Like here you go. You and I are showing our age talking about Keenan and Damon. I think if you are under 40, if you are under 40 years old,
if you said Wayan Brothers,
you think about Sean and Marlon.
That's fair.
So credit where credit is due.
No, that is fair. But I think that if you then think, oh yeah, Sean and Marlon, yeah, they all right.
They all right. Yeah, but so yeah, Scary Movie.
So would you recommend people see Scary Movie? This movie that you love?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't recommend people watch Scary Movie. No. I think you absolutely need to know about Scary Movie. I'm basically look, I have one Wayan's brother sort of speech. I am consistently underwhelmed by what they produce.
Were you a fan of their TV show, which had 5 seasons?
Not really.
Me neither.
I don't know if I've watched an entire episode of the Wayans Brothers, which appropriately enough, one genuine chuckle I had in this film was when Sean broke character and talked about shows getting canceled and didn't even have a chance to say goodbye to people, and it was a good show, and that genuinely made me chuckle.
Really?
Because it seemed like an actual moment.
It did, and it's funny. It's funny. I I marked that. I noted that spot because he breaks character a little bit. He's talking to the audience, but even in talking to the audience, he still couldn't deliver the line. So I was like, oh my God, you're just such a bad actor. My one chuckle in this movie is the one bit, and it's low hanging fruit, I admit, where they kind of like spoof the Blair Witch Project. And the lady is stuck in the woods.
Yeah, and she has a snot coming out of her nose.
I
you like that? Look, if you like jokes about bodily fluids from all ends.
Well, I like that.
Right. Well, not you, but I use that to segue into, folks, if you like body fluid jokes, this is the film for you.
So you're recommending Scary Movie?
I'm not recommending Scary Movie at all, but I absolutely think you should know about Scary Movie. I think the Wayans are an aspirational story.
Okay,
I really do, and I think Scary Movie is a very important chapter in their story because I just want to build on what I just said. In a lot of ways, Scary Movie was the passing of the baton. Like Keenan and Damon built this foundation. No, Keenan, Damon, and Kim built this foundation with In Living Color, with The Last Boy Scout, with, he directed Raw, like he kind of, like the elder brothers worked all through the 80s and 90s. 2000, hand the baton to the younger brothers. And when you look at the output from the Wayans family since 2000, the vast majority of it has been from Sean and Marlon. And it starts here. So there's no reason to watch Scary Movie, but I think you should absolutely know about it.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. The backstory of Scary Movie and its sequels is interesting and is definitely a moment of note and a deserving chapter in the Wayans family story. But outside of that, there's absolutely no reason to visit Scary Movie.
Yeah.
None whatsoever. And not even if you're a Regina Hall completist.
I mean,
Don't.
Blink and you miss her.
Yeah. And the scene, her most famous scene in the movie is on YouTube. So just look at that scene, and that's all. So there you go. That's our thoughts on Scary Movie.
Scary Movie.
All right, before we tell you once again what we're going to be watching next week, ladies and gentlemen, here in BOOTOBER, I invite you to check out the Micheaux Mission, 2 Men, 1 Podcast. Every black film ever made. Go to micheauxmission.com where you can hit swag and check out all the cool designs and gifts that we have available for you from our good friends at T Public. Did you know that we have a voicemail? You can leave us a voicemail at 215-867-966 and tell Vincent and Len what is on your mind. You can also email us at micheauxmission@gmail.com. That's micheauxmission@gmail.com. You can also hit us up at Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Micheaux Mission, either via email, either via our social media. You can also use hashtag previously to tell us all of the reviews that you would like to see replayed, just the reviews, on our new accompanying series Previously on the Mission. And don't forget, you can always subscribe to the Micheaux Mission on YouTube. Check us out, look us up, the Micheaux Mission, subscribe so you do not miss any of our live shows. If you're listening to the podcast, and thank you very much, you're missing the live stream of our show, where not only do we give you the podcast in unedited form, but you're also missing trailer talk, all that stuff that we are talking, and it's some crazy stuff that we are talking in the spot where you on the podcast heard the trailer. So check out the live stream via YouTube every Tuesday night. All right. And wherever you check out our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating and a review, especially if it's on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, as we make our way to 200 reviews. And we've been getting a few more. Thank you, each and every one. We're going to start reading them starting next week. So reading them here on air. So please help us reach 200 reviews. It would be a beautiful round number for us to reach before the end of the year. And there are strategic reasons why we want to get there. And I'll tell you about them once we get there.
Ha.
All right. It's a tease, like to call that in the business. And the Micheaux Mission is a proud member of the Podglomerate Podcast Network, thepodglomerate.com. We make podcasts work. Next week is my turn, and next week we are going to the year of 2018, where we will be reviewing The First Purge.
Yes.
Check it out, ladies and gentlemen, next week here on the Micheaux Mission. Until then, he's Vince. I'm Len. Sanaa Lathan is the Catwoman that you didn't know you needed. Please check out Harley Quinn on HBO Max.
She's really good.
Free plug.
She's really good.
Oh,
too.
She's really good. She is so good. She's so good. And I heard her directing debut is actually not bad too.
Right. Well, since we're wrapping up talking about the black women in animation and the I'm Gonna Get You Sucker review, I don't remember. I know this may surprise you, but we went on a little tangent and somehow ended up talking. We started talking about Dawn Lewis. Okay. And I said that I had never seen anything with Dawn Lewis that really showcased her talent. And I said, this was 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. I said, I'm just waiting. I know she's one project away. And then it'll be like, oh, Dawn Lewis. She is so good on Lower Decks.
Yes.
She is excellent on Lower Decks.
I was actually thinking about, I think about her every time I watch the episode, but this most recent episode, she didn't even do anything, but she said something.
Yes.
It's like, Go ahead, Dawn.
Yeah, she is
just tickle me.
so good on Lower
It
Decks.
just
So,
tickles me thinking that that's Dawn Lewis.
yeah. So
Yeah.
let's hear for these sisters in these cartoons.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. He's Vince. I'm Len. And until next week, in parting, we say.
We'll see you when it's time to meet again.